hello from Texas. I'm in Austin, and that explains why I'm sitting here in my boxer shorts. Because it's Texas, and it's summer, and it's fucking hot and sticky. Not quite as bad as Florida, where I recorded my last video quite some time ago. Now, if you're watching my videos from my website, or you're watching my videos from BitChute or Rumble or one of the other places it's syndicated to, you'll actually be able to go back and you'll see that video that I put out specifically talking to Google. Coincidentally, they censored it on their own platform, which is exactly what the video was about. I was daring them to censor it. Now, you'll remember in that video, I made some pretty good threats. And I actually got quite a few comments that like, oh, this guy's off the rails, he's crazy, he's not actually gonna do anything about this is all bullshit. Well, I'm here today to tell you what I've been doing with my time. I made good on the threat. Myself, Donald Trump, a few other people, some of my friends, we're going after Google in a class action lawsuit exactly like I described in my last video. Some people actually make good on their threats. And we're coming for you, Google. Now, I got a lot of email, people thinking, you know, oh, I put up that ballsy video and I haven't done any videos since, so that means either I pussed out or, you know, Google got me. Sometimes it takes a little time and a little bit of work to destroy your enemies. And in this case, I'm willing to put in the time. So we'll talk about those things more a little later. I wanted to give you just a quick synopsis for the people that have been asking, like, you know, what the hell happened between Florida and now? Okay, so very long story, as short as I can make it. Reader's Digest version. After making that last video, shortly after, I ended up going back to Vegas. I ended up thinking, oh, the pandemic's over, we're gonna go back to normal, you know, saner heads are prevailing, the adults are back in the room, we're done with the bullshit, it's fucking America, people will never stand for this horse shit. I went back to Vegas, and I was there for a while, and I started shopping for a new apartment. I was living in hotels. I actually still am living in hotels. As I was about to sign a lease, I find out that Vegas has instituted a new mask mandate. So I decided to hang around a little bit because I figured, you know, if over 30% of the population tells the government that they can shove the fucking mask up their goddamn ass, then if it's not enforced, who the fuck cares? Maybe it becomes the next jaywalking. That was wishful thinking. Didn't happen. I went out onto the Vegas Strip, and I went into the hotels the Friday that mask mandate went back. And I watched people screaming at the people behind the counter. Screaming. I paid thousands of dollars for a room here this weekend. You never disclosed to me that I'd have to wear a fucking mask. Refund it and fuck you. And here was the thing. Typically, like, you know, if you remember the last time you were at, say, like a fast food restaurant and somebody fucked up the burger and like, oh, they put onions on it when the person asked for no onions. Everybody in line just kind of sits there and they're like kind of embarrassed for the person. Like, you know, Jesus, you're yelling at a 15-year-old child that forgot and, you know, put onions on. That was not the case. You had people in line and taking notes and feeling emboldened when they got up to the front to do the same type of yelling. You know what happened the following week in Vegas? The next Friday, after people figured out the bullshit that was going on, they didn't fucking show up. So I knew a few things. Vegas was fucked by the pandemic. The only reason why the entire town didn't disintegrate is because nobody got evicted even though they weren't paying their rent. Well, a victim moratorium is back on. And this mask thing, like, I don't think people realize what it does to the economy when you've got rich people that are going to pick a place to party. And if they're deciding between, say, going to Vegas and going to Miami, they'll pay a couple $100 extra for the plane ticket to go to Miami because they can at least have a good time. So if you're telling people to come spend money in your town and party and have a good time, and then you tell them to put a fucking diaper on their goddamn face, guess what? They don't show up. And I know, I'm like 99% sure that by the time the winter comes around, we're still in summer. By the time the winter comes around, you think they're not going to lock back down? The Vegas economy is done. And I'll always have a soft spot for Vegas, but the people that are there are making decisions to run the place into the fucking ground. So, okay, guess what? I vote with my feet. I leave, I go spend money elsewhere. So last time when this bullshit happened and I wanted to escape, I went to Florida. Love Florida, love the people in Florida, love the food in Florida, love everything in Florida except the goddamn weather, which is like the worst ever. So this time, we decided to go to the other sane state. I am in Austin, Texas right now. So we'll talk a little bit more about Texas and the things that I've learned in the few short weeks that I've been here about this place. Fucking love Texas. Now, the weather, summer, and it's kind of shitty, but it's not as bad as Florida. I keep on checking on my iPhone, like, you know, okay, what's the weather today in Austin? What's the weather in Miami? Yeah, it's better in Florida, or better in Texas. Florida's always more. Ugh. So that's what's up. So to all the people that thought that Google or the leftists somehow destroyed me and shut me down, you don't know me very well. And to the people that asked where the hell I've been, now you know. What are we gonna do now? I think things are going to change up a little bit. I think now that I've got a little more gray hair and that I'm unquestionably middle-aged now, I'm sick of the bullshit. I'm in a state that's sick of the bullshit. And it's going to be an interesting ride in the Republic of Texas. That I can tell you. Stay tuned.